Hey guys, it is Jeremy again. Welcome back to Books and Coffee. It has been a hot minute since I have filmed a video. I do a lot of bulk filming, so it's been like a month or more since I've actually sat in front of a camera. I have a tendency to say, oh, I've been gone for this long, so apologize in advance. I won't be doing that anymore. But I have a very exciting video to share with you. This is a video I've been kind of wanting to make ever since last year. I have decided to start binge watching The Vampire Diaries again. I had seen the first two seasons of it, and then last year I started from season 1 when I got my Blu-ray set. And then I binged all 8 seasons. It was awesome, but also kind of exhausting, if you know what I mean. Basically, any hour-long show that has at least more than 6 seasons can kind of get exhausting to binge. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the ship name of Stelena and why they were never going to be Endgame. So obviously the show's been over for 2 years, and we now know that Delena is Endgame, which is of course the ship name for Delena, for Damon and Elena. Now this is a show that has 2 main ships couples together, which is the Stelena and Delena, which is Stefan, which is basically Team Damon and Team Stefan, and which one we want our main character Elena to be with, basically. For the first 2 seasons of The Vampire Diaries, I really did like Elena with Stefan. I thought they were very cute. I genuinely liked Stefan as a character, at least in the early seasons I did. What's really sad to say is I felt like as soon as Stefan broke up with Elena, he didn't really have a lot of, his purpose in the show wasn't there as much. I kind of felt like he was just walking around, just a vampire. I hate to say that his only purpose was to date Elena. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. But for me, when you have a show that is 8 seasons long, now granted when they started the show they had no idea the show would have become such a popular show in pop culture and popular culture. They had no idea the massive fan following the show would have had, because the first episode generated over 4.6 or 4.9 million viewers. That is a lot of people tuning in to watch a series premiere. This was also, it came out in 2009, and it kind of just exploded. Now, I was a Stelena shipper for the first 2 seasons. And then in season 3, when Stefan basically became Klaus's bitch, I mean, I understand he willingly did that to protect Elena and save his brother, so I understand why Stefan, made that choice to go with Klaus and, help him go make more hybrids. However, he turned into a narcissistic pile of shit of a character. And there's a lot of times I didn't know if that was, the Stefan that we know, or if it was Stefan without his emotions. It's really hard to kind of differentiate the two. That, of course, happens in season 3. But anyway, for me, and then we have the development of the Damon and Elena relationship, which is really, we've gotten breadcrumbs ever since season 1 of that, and then that developed a little bit more in season 2 and 3, and then when Elena becomes a vampire in the 4th season, into the 3rd season, technically transition and everything, but mainly season 4, we get to see her decide what she, I feel like her as a vampire is a very different person. Her personality is much different as a vampire than she was when she was human. I don't care what anyone says, I will never stop believing that. I think Elena is a massively different character as a vampire. I feel like she becomes a little bit more selfish, a little bit more self-centered, and she has this mentality that everything has to be centering around her. Sorry, that's just the impression I got when I watched the show. You don't have to believe or even see that if you don't want to. That's just what I see. For me, when you have a show that's, like I said, 8 seasons long, you're not going to stay with the same person for 8 years. And to even insinuate even being on a teen drama like this is very unrealistic. So I knew that along the way, they were going to break up. Well, for one, I've read the Vampire Diaries books, the ones by L.J. Smith, and I knew that, she eventually ended kind of dating Damon along the way. It's part of the love triangle. It just happens. You're going to switch, and she's going to end up dating both of them, and then she's going to be torn between which one she loves more, and then she's going to decide. It's kind of the standard, love triangle thing. But not every love triangle does that. The Twilight love triangle didn't really do that. Bella almost always just dated Edward. And and then she kind of realized that she loved Jacob, even though I don't really see how she did. New Moon, she spent a lot of time with him in New Moon, but I wasn't really convinced that she actually loved Jacob. I don't know. Just my opinion. But for me, the friendship between Elena and Stefan definitely became a very strained friendship throughout the years. Obviously, Nina Dobrev left after season 6, so there's a lot of character development for Elena that we don't ever get to see. It makes me really sad that she left the show, because I really would have liked to have seen what they would have done with her character in season 7 and 8. I don't count her appearance in season 8 because she's only in the final episode of season 8. So she's not in the first 15 episodes, and she's not in all 22 episodes of season 7. So, like I said, I don't really count her being in the final 2 seasons. 1 episode doesn't really count. I'm really happy that she came back for the series finale, and we do get to see her, but it's just kind of disappointing to really find out, and maybe her leaving the show is what actually prompted them for that Delena ending, because Nina Dobrev had told Caroline Dries, Kevin Williamson, and Julie Plec that she was in fact leaving after the 6th season early on in the airing and filming process of the season. So they knew well ahead of time, and a lot of fans, said, well, they could have set up for a Stelena ending. I'm like, but could they though? I feel like they weren't the same people to go back to anymore. They were very different people around season 6. I don't know. I felt like their story was just over, at least romantically. Like that pairing, that ship was just not sailing anymore. And I feel like they really grew apart and very differently. And I would bet being a vampire has a pretty big effect on that, because the Elena we see in the first 3 seasons as a human was a much better person. She fought for so much, and Elena's just not like that as a vampire. And we get to see her human again. At the end of season 6, she makes the decision of taking the cure. so she can get all of her memories of Damon back, because earlier in season 6 she asked Alara to compel those memories away, which I thought was a very stupid decision on her part to do, but that's just what she wanted to do. I don't have anything against that, or whatever. But I think it really goes to say that she was the protagonist of the show. And I don't know, I feel like the Stelena being Endgame was never going to happen. Like, I mean, even in the first season, when I was watching it for the very first time, I'm like, there's no way she's gonna end up with this guy. Because by the time I watched the show, or like really started really truly getting into the show, like actually taking it seriously, because I've seen the first season so many times. Like, I had bought the original DVD, which I have, and I watched that for the very first time several years ago, probably 5-6 years ago at least, and after I kind of took off they changed everything about, the books, and well, they did, but it's fine, because I'm not going to say I prefer this world versus the books. I view them as alternative universes to each other. But anyway, so I knew the show was going to have 8 seasons when I got into the show. So I knew there was 8 seasons, and I had all of them on DVD and everything. So I knew from the very beginning when I started watching the show there was only 8 seasons. And I avoided as many spoilers about relationships and coupling from various characters, because I didn't want to be spoiled. I wanted to watch every episode and be surprised to see what happens. So I kind of knew that they were not going to end up together. And I think it really boils down to that they just weren't the same people to be together again. And I still love Stefan. I still love Stefan. I still love Elena. Elena took a lot to love, though. Like I said, I loved her in the first 3 seasons. Season 4, I could not stand her, especially when she turned off her emotions and she became this. Yeah, those 5 episodes was a struggle to get through, because I did not like her. Like, at all. Like, I was wishing for bad things to happen to her in those episodes, because I didn't like this. Well, I don't care. But then again, that's the whole point. I was thinking just now about how cool it would be if we as humans could have the ability to turn off our humanity switch. Like, if that actually existed. That would be the coolest thing, because I think our humanity is what prevents us from doing certain things, like being an asshole. I fantasized in my head about being an asshole in life so many times, whether someone is stupid or rude or callous to you or something. It'd be so much fun to turn that switch off and rip into them. But then again, I would feel like if I offended somebody, or if I said something mean to somebody, I think the guilt of that would just eat away at me, and I would have the urge of going and finding that person and apologize. That's just the type of person that I am. Sometimes I really hate that, because I feel like people use my kindness for their own benefit. I've had a lot of people tell me that, so it's kind of taken me a lot of years. So I have to be not a dick, but I have to be more, a little bit more callous in some aspects of my life. But anyway, we're not here to talk about me. But so in a nutshell, that's what this really video was. Sorry if it wasn't in order, and I kind of went off on tangents several times, but I love talking about the Vampire Diaries, and I'm hoping to get much better at these types of videos and do a lot more. I have several videos that are going to they'll all be filmed in the same t-shirt, sorry, but I do a lot of bulk filming, as I've said in this video previously. I actually have played 2 video games that I want to talk to. They are Lego games, and I am a huge Lego video game fan, if that's a thing. They're really the only types of video games that I play. I do have several Star Wars games, like Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the first Star Wars Battlefront that I really love playing. And I have a few random ones that I do love to play as well, but for the most part, I love playing the Lego games. Yes, they are more, I guess, for children, you could say, but I think that they are very fun and could be played by just about anybody. So, yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and I will see you guys soon.